My name is Jamil, and this was my life before him. Growing up as a kid, I had a really easy life. There were no real struggles, there were no real problems. We always had food on the table. My parents are great. We had a really great family in environment in the home, and even when my parents did struggle, we didn't. Us as kids, my sister and I didn't even really know. We didn't know. We didn't know. So my my story really begins towards the later years of high school. When I was in high school, I had a girlfriend that I sincerely thought that I was in love with, and my my senior year, we were we were serious. We were a serious couple, and you know, we were just doing teenager things. We were just doing teenager things, and you know, obviously one of those things was being intimate with each other. Uh, we graduated uh, from from high school, and she was gonna go off to to the University of Florida, and I was gonna go to FAU. And a couple weeks before both of us leave, she calls me, and she says, "Hey Jamil, I think I'm late." And I thought to myself, uh, like, late where? Where you going? Where are you going? And she she began to explain to me that she was late with her period, and and in that moment, I was just like, oh man, what? That was a bombshell. Uh, just just a bomb to my life and to my dreams, and what I wanted to do, and you know, we just ended up talking about it. Obviously, I didn't force anything. I didn't try to manipulate her in any way. I just really wanted to hear her voice. I wanted to hear what she had to say about it and how she felt about it. And I just really wanted to support her. And honestly, in the back of my mind, it was, man, I can't have a child. I can't. No, my life is just about to begin. I can't. Um, but we end up talking, and just talking through it, and we ended up going to a Planned Parenthood to see if she was really pregnant, and she was 7 weeks pregnant. She was 7 weeks pregnant, and they gave us our options, and one of the options, of course, was abortion. So we had talked about that, and we knew, we had read online that there are other options besides operation, and we thought that the option of taking a pill would be the best option because it's not invasive at all. But when we got to the abortion clinic, and we were asking questions about that, she the consultant told us that my girlfriend at the time was too far in 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 her pregnancy. It needed to be at 5 weeks, not 7 weeks. Five weeks was the max, and she was at 7 weeks, so we had to go through the operation. Um, so we went home, and we just discussed these things, and I was 18 at the time. She was 18. Also, we didn't need parental consent, so we just kept everything secret. I had a good job at the time, and just paid $535, signed some paperwork, and 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 we got the operation done. And I remember uh, coming, taking her back home, and her literally looking as if she had life sucked out of her, life drained out of her, and uh, you know, it's guilt and the shame that came from that, the realization of taking my child's life, and me taking responsibility of that really really came heavy on me as I began to have conversations with her, and she would express her shame and express her guilt. And after that, we went our separate ways. She went to UF, and I was down at FAU, and our relationship didn't last. It didn't last, and I was just at FAU. Now I had a full ride scholarship for computer engineering, and I was at FAU, and that was with the help of a friend, and because I wasn't very good at school. I wanted to make beats. I wanted to make music. That's what I wanted to do with my life. But I figured, you know what? Let me just go. Let me just go and do this. This is a safe thing. This is a safe thing that I can do. Towards the beginning of the second semester of my college career, one of my friends called me saying, "Hey, we are putting together a salsa performance, and we would love for you to be a part of it." So back in high school, and this is going back a little bit, back in high school, a friend and I started a Latin dance club, and we would do different shows, and we would do different kinds of dances, and we would all get together with our friends and do those things. So after we graduated, we handed the club to the next generation, to the next grade under us, for them to carry it. And one of those girls called me and asked me and said, "Hey, we're doing something at a performance center. I'd love for you to be a part of it." And I said, yeah, for sure. Little did I know that this girl is a Christian, is a Christian, and what the event was just a multi-art event where different arts were going on at the same time. So in one room you had dancing going on, and in another room you had poetry going on, and in another room you had people showing off their artwork, and in another room you had people singing and bands, and they even had a film. They even had a film which was really cool. So while me and my friend were doing the salsa choreography and putting our routine together, after our practices, her and her friends, they had a Christian band, and they would practice, and I just remember sitting after our practices and listening to what they were doing, and I just remember connecting with the music. To me, at that time, God wasn't. I knew of God, but it was just a very far distant idea. It was like Santa Claus. It's like the Easter Bunny. It was just something that I should respect, and that but the idea of heaven and hell and Christianity was not a real solid thing for me. It was just an idea that I knew that I should respect. So sitting there listening to a younger person younger people singing songs about Jesus, I honestly was just like, hey, well, this is cool. This is cool. Long story short, we end up having the performance and all that stuff. I meet all of her friends. I had spent some time with her family, and I even remember specifically before her band came up to perform, all of them getting in a circle and praying, and I was a part of that, and I was just like, wow, this is really cool. This is, I don't know, I honestly don't remember exactly what I was thinking, but I just remember feeling comfortable and not weirded out or not criticizing it in any way. But after that, after that weekend, that was on a Saturday, and Monday I had to go to class, but instead of going to class, I just sat home and I was just like, man, what am I doing with my life? I just had a moment where I was just like, what am I doing with my life? I don't I don't really care about computer engineering. I do have a passion for music, but I don't even know if I'm that good. I just don't know. Uh, and I just thought about my friend's family. I thought about the friends that my friends, uh, uh, the friends that she had, and and I just realized that the common denominator was Jesus. And after that, uh, I just there was just something inside of me that was really pushing me to just seek and pushing me to find answers and to have questions at that. To have questions. I remember one time being in the library down at FAU, and I was in a group with for my psychology class, and I was supposed to be doing research and something like that for something, I don't know. But instead, I had a Bible with me that has been in my family for for as long as I can remember, and I had it with me, and I remember just being on Google, typing questions and trying to find answer to questions, and one of my partners came up, and she said, hey, what are you doing? I said, oh, I'm just trying to find answers to this whole thing. And I was showing her the Bible, and it said the Holy Bible on there, and she looks at me and she says, are do you really believe in that? And I was like, nah, no, I don't believe in that. What? Nah, no. I was just trying to, just trying to figure out some things. But in my heart of hearts, I really was seeking. I really was trying to understand God and understand all of these things. And another time, I was with another friend of mine, and we would just skateboard around campus. And I remember being in a parking lot in front of the FAU library, and we would just skate around the parking lot. And it was it was later in the evening, and there were no cars there, and it was just me and him just skating around in the parking lot. And on the sidewalk, I would pass by a sidewalk, and a man just came, and I would just pass him. I probably passed him 3 or 4 times, and maybe on the 4th time, he stopped me, and he said, hey, do you want to take a survey? I was like, yeah, sure. I'll take a survey. It's like 11:30 at night. What are you surveying right now? And he asked me again. He said, well, it's a religious survey. Is that okay with you? And I said, yeah, sure, that's no problem. And then he asked me, do you think that you're going to heaven? And I said, well, yeah, I think I'm going to heaven. I don't rob anybody. I don't do bad things. Yeah, I'll go to heaven. And then he just proceeded to tell me how I wasn't gonna go to heaven. And I don't remember all that he said, but he had a tract with him, and he said he asked me if I wanted to say the sinner's prayer, and I said, yeah, sure, I'll say it. I'll say this prayer that you want to say. So I said it. And honestly, just so he can go away, and I just continue skating with my friend. So then after that, one of the friends that I had made friends with through my friend that I danced salsa with, back in the day there was a MySpace, and they had invited me to church, and also my friend had invited me to church. So I went to my friend's church one evening with my friend that I skateboard with, and I went into that service ready to ask questions. And I just remember coming in there, and I was just like, man, I remember there was a band, and I was like, oh man, this is cool, this is cool. And then they had a guest speaker, and I don't remember what he preached about, but he at the end of his sermon he said, "Does anybody have any questions about Jesus, about Christianity, about God?" Um, and I raised my hand, and I was the only one who raised my hand. I raised my hand, and he said, "Okay, yeah, I'll meet you out. I'll meet you out in the hallway." So we went out in the hallway, and I was with my friend. We were sitting down, and he asked me. He said, he asked me if I wanted to pray, and all I remembered was praying that weird prayer that other guy asked me to pray, and I was like, no, I don't want to pray that. I just want to ask you some questions. And I had real basic questions like, why is there a New Testament if if there's an Old Testament? What's wrong with the Old Testament? Or why are there so many different religions and things like that? And he answered all of my questions using the Bible, and I asked him. I said, "Hey, can we just say that prayer? That that prayer." I was very vague, but I think he understood what I was saying. He said, "Yeah. Let's pray." And he asked me to repeat after him, and he asked me to close my eyes, and I just remember closing my eyes, and I remember repeating something along the lines of Father, forgive me for my sins. I know that you died for my sins. I know that you forgive my sins. And as I was saying those words, the weight of what I've done, just the guilt and the shame, uh, I I really felt that God was hearing me when I was saying forgive me, and all of that weight just off of me. And I remember just having tears in my eyes, and I was just like, I don't want to cry because I'm with my friend, and I don't know this guy. I don't know this guy. And and as we finished praying, just him, just inviting him into my heart and into my life, and giving my life to him, and just feeling the freedom from that. I look up, I have tears in my eyes. My friend has tears in his eyes, and the pastor wasn't crying. He wasn't crying, but it was a sincerely life-changing moment for me. And since then, I it was like I was just so aware of myself. I was so aware of just my life, and wanting to live my life intentionally, not just to go with the flow with things. And I started to attend church more. I really connected with the church, and got involved in the church and in the youth ministry, and I really made friends, and God was just putting a community around me. And in that church I really just grew up, and I'm a pastor now in that church, and now I'm leading the youth group in that church, and the same youth group that changed my life, and under the same pastor that helped walk with me and change my life. And that is where God has led me up until this point. And I don't think I would have ever guessed it at all. I would never guess that I would have been a pastor. Like I told you, I wanted to be in the studio. I wanted to be making beats for Kanye and Jay-Z. Like I wanted to be a part of that crowd. But the Lord did see my heart just for traveling, and see my heart for music. I lead worship, and I get to travel to different places with my church, and the Lord really knows me. The Lord really knows me, and He really He's really guiding my life. He's really guiding my life. But if I can end by saying anything to you, if I can end by concluding with anything, is that the forgiveness of God is real, and that the forgiveness of God is true. You know, we can become so comfortable with guilt and with shame and with the burdens of our mistakes, and we don't know how to let them go, and we don't even know that we can. But there is a God who is in heaven, but who also walked this earth, who is ready to forgive you of whatever it is. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. But that's my story. That's my story. Again, my name is Jamil, and this was my life before him.